Hello and welcome to Rando Rob. Each week on Rando Rob, I'll be showing and discussing one item from my large collection of collections. New shows appear every Monday, and throughout the week, I'll be adding older episodes of Rando Rob that were previously only available to my Patreon subscribers. You can watch episodes of Rando Rob on YouTube at youtube.com/Rob O'Hara. Just look for the Rando Rob playlist. Audio versions of the show are available on my website at podcast.robohara.com or through iTunes. Just search for Rando Rob. Thanks for watching or listening, and I hope you enjoy this vintage episode of Rando Rob. Hello! Welcome to a new episode of Rando Rob. Today is Sunday, October 4th, and if it's October, you know what that means. That means it is Halloween. Halloween is coming, which is mixed bag this year. I would say Halloween is probably, I'm thinking through this here, I would say Halloween is my favorite holiday. At least it was for a long time. When you have kids, it's, when I was a kid, I loved Halloween. And then when I had kids, I loved Halloween even more because then you get to relive all those things that you did as a kid. Hopefully only the good things, only the treats and not the tricks. Christmas, I mean, how could you not like Christmas and seeing the joy on your kids' faces, when they get the things they've been wanting. And, even now and then as a grizzled old man, I occasionally get surprised on Christmas morning. Last year, we have a local taco chain that is only, Oklahoma is as north as they go. All the other franchises are south of Oklahoma. And I absolutely love their hot sauce. It comes in little packets. And when we go there, I will always take a couple of extra. I'm not going to lie, I might grab a few extra on the way out the door and take them home because I just love it so much. And my wife knows that I love this particular hot sauce. And last year for Christmas, unbeknownst to me, she and my kids drove to different locations of this chain, pilfering a few extra packets of sauce each time until they had quite a collection of hot sauce, and they put it in a box for me for Christmas. And she actually tried to buy the hot sauce, and they would not sell the hot sauce. So this was plan B. Christmas is a fun time, especially when you've been with a person like I've been married for 25 years. So when you've been with somebody that knows you so well and you know them so well, it can be fun. But anyway, Halloween has always been a favorite of mine. I love horror movies. I love special effects. I grew up loving special effects, and I've always wanted to start collecting movie props, but I need to start collecting one more thing, like a hole in the head. And movie props are expensive, man. So I don't, I've looked a few times at buying even replica movie props. Sometimes are expensive. And so I've never really just started down that road because I know it's going to be an expensive road. So I do buy things here and there on occasion that remind me of movies or replica type prop things, but not the real thing. So, but I do love Halloween. I love decorating for Halloween. I have lots of, little Halloween things that have stories with them. And probably for the month of October, I'll be showing you a lot of Halloween related items. Now, before I show you this week's item, I'm going to lean my head slightly just so you can see a little bit of what's going on behind me over there. There's one monitor here that's not even turned on yet. This is the Commodore 64 monitor as of right now. Then you see the ANSI. That's the one that shows ANSI artwork from old BBSs. And then that is my Mist, which is currently configured as an Amiga. But there are some new ones coming in because, as you know, I've been talking about the white tables that I've been putting in, the tabletops and the legs and all that stuff. And now it is coming to fruition. And so if you look over this way in the corner, you can see that is an old 486 DX4100 that I bought from a pawn shop many years ago. The monitor on top of that is, I believe, a 15-inch square 4x3 monitor, so it is not letterbox. And I got it up and running. I've only started a few games on. I've got it dual booting right now with Windows 98 and DOS, so I can boot it into either mode. A Windows 98 is handy because it supports obviously networking, and so if I need to move files back and forth, I can fire it up, reboot into Windows 98 mode, and I can copy games and software over across the network without trying to. It does have a working floppy drive and a working CD-ROM drive, so I can install software that way, but obviously pushing stuff over the network is a lot simpler. So I've just started playing around with that, and then there's a large flat screen TV next to it, which I wrote a blog post about that TV, but about 2 months ago, I guess, when garage sales started picking back up, we stopped. This is like the first garage sale I'd been to all year. And of course we were wearing masks but I was just so excited because, man, I just love garage sale season. You know, it's one of my favorite things to do in the spring and summer. And we just didn't have that this year. And I went to a garage sale and there was a lady who was selling, it ended up being 2 flat screen TVs combined for $5. And this is the smaller of the two. This is a 24-inch flat screen TV, but the back of it has, I think, 3 different sets of RCA inputs. There's also HDMI input, but lots of RCA and coax. And I mean, just a ton of inputs. So I think I'm actually going to use that as my monitor for my Apple II, but I'm going to, use those other inputs. I want to put a couple of like those Jax joysticks, the all-in-ones things, just to rotate some stuff in and out. But this is, it's kind of maybe hard to see, but there's a table right there. You can see it. There's a table. So it's kind of like a U shape over there and then a U shape over here. So over here is my main computer is set up here. And then my work computer is set up to the side here, and I may put something behind me, but just to kind of have like this is separated off. Like I can do work over here, I go play games over there. So I've had a fun time, and if you looked over here, which you cannot see, is just giant piles of stuff that hasn't found a place yet in the room, but it will. So anyway, I've been getting all that stuff hooked up, but now it's October. And again, Halloween's a big thing for me. I love Halloween. It's time to get out those Halloween decorations. I have a couple tubs of Halloween decorations and stuff. By the way, I was joking on an earlier episode of Rando Rob about wearing a different hat each week. And this week, no hat because I got a haircut this week. And if you've not had, I'm sure some people have. If you haven't had a haircut during the COVID times, or what a strange experience. There's a very small shop that I go to. I've been going to this lady for a long time. She's about 10 years older than me. She's from Vietnam and a very sweet lady. And now when you go there, there's a phone number on the front door because you're not allowed to go in the waiting room. They don't want people in the waiting room. So you have to pull up in the driveway, call this number as soon as they have a spot for you. And there's only 2 people working. As soon as they have a spot for you, they'll text you back and tell you to come in. Now, fortunately, I usually go pretty early in the day. Actually, I go around the time they open, and there was no one else there, and they have the front door propped open and stuff. So it felt pretty safe. You do have to wear a mask. A lot of times, I don't know, I think people use their barber or whoever, almost as a therapist. And, you go there and you talk about things. And this time, this lady had a lot of things going on in her life. And so she was telling me all the bad things that were happening and all the trouble that she's had and trouble, sometimes with customers and family issues and stuff. I felt really bad. I felt good that she felt comfortable talking to me. I'm not sure she knows my name, and I don't know her name. So I'm a little embarrassed about that. So we're not close would be an overstatement. But she knows when I go in, she doesn't ask me what kind of haircut I want. I mean, I've been going there she's been cutting my hair for over a decade. So, it was just that kind of relationship where she needed to get some stuff off and I listened and, I was glad. I think I don't know why why we ran into each other on that particular day, but we did. So anyway, it is October. It is time for me. I have tubs of Halloween decorations out in the garage that I need to get out. I'm not sure what I'm decorating for. I'm decorating because I love Halloween, but mostly you decorate because your friends, that's not true. I was going to say mostly. I won't say mostly. Partially, you decorate because you want your friends to come over and see your Halloween decorations, and you put your Halloween stuff outside. But I don't even know if they're doing trick-or-treating this year. I'm really kind of bummed out about how, back in March, when things were happening, we were like, oh, what's going to happen to Easter? I wasn't thinking about Halloween at the time, and so that really just wasn't on my mind at the time. But here we are, man. It's Halloween, and I don't know if they're going to do trick-or-treating. I'm sure they're going to do some outdoor events and stuff. My kids, my daughter, who's the youngest, by Halloween, she'll be she'll be almost 15 and a half. So, and then my son's moved out. So, they're too old to be going door to door trick-or-treating and stuff like that. But, there's other kids and kids in the neighborhood. I don't know. I'm sure we'll buy candy in case somebody comes by, but I just don't know what they're going to be doing. So anyway, that's not going to stop me from decorating for Halloween. I love Halloween, and even if I'm the only person that will see, I'm looking around because I'm like, oh, there's a wall there I can hang some stuff on, and there's some other places around here. So I will definitely be bringing out the Halloween decorations. But there's one decoration that has stayed in this room year-round, and it is sitting right here next to. I say year-round. I've only owned it for a year. But if you're a fan of Ghostbusters, you're going to recognize this guy. It's Slimer. This thing is gigantic. I'm sure you probably have the same thing. You have the Halloween spirit stores and those pop-up type stores. And I went 2 years ago, and they had this thing for sale, and I want to say it was $60. Now, there's two problems with that. One, $60 is too much. Because where are you going to put this year-round? Unless you're me, and then you're going to put it somewhere in your room. But $60 is a lot of money for a toy that you're going to put up on display, right? The other thing is it's kind of made of that latex stuff. And I have bought things like that were latex before, and over time they disintegrated. They started cracking. Now, in my defense, I kept them up in the upstairs room at the other house that sometimes got hot, wasn't, necessarily didn't have good heat and air. So it may have got over hot, and I may have left it in the garage or something. So I don't know, but I had a Boba Fett maquette that was the same type of material, and it just cracked and then fell apart. So I don't want to spend $60 on something that would do that. But so that was 2 years ago, and I did not buy it. So we went back last year, and they still had it. I mean, there's literally one. It was in a box and sitting there, and who knows if it's the same one? I have no way of knowing that, but I felt like it was the same one. It's still sitting there. And as the October went by, like nobody bought it. It's still sitting there. And a friend of mine on Twitter who also happens to work for Halloween Spirit Store, posted a coupon that was $25% off any item of $50 or more. So this was more than $50. It was $60. And she tweeted this advertisement. And so I took a screenshot of it. That day I was like, I'm going to go get that stupid thing. It was on my mind, dummy. And so I went up there and went up to the register, and I had taken a screenshot of it to send it to my wife. But I had that person's Twitter profile pulled up. And when I got up there in line, I looked at my camera and the ad disappeared. Before I walked in, I checked and it was there. I went in, we got this, I looked around for a few minutes, and I came back and it had disappeared. Oh no. And so I got to the register and I was like, I saw this ad earlier, and the girl at the register said, well, sometimes they do limited time promos. And I'm like, limited time promo? It was an hour ago. I saw it an hour ago. And I came here to buy this at lunchtime, and now it's gone. Like, I literally went on my lunch break to go up there and buy this. And I was like, look, I took a screenshot. And I showed her the screenshot from that morning, and she went, oh. And she goes, no, the ad's just, I don't know. And then she went and talked to somebody, and she came back. She goes, I can give you 25% off. So it seems like the coupon, might have only been good for an hour. I don't know. It came and went. It was super fast. But, because I told her, I was like, I won't pay $60 for it. I literally came in to buy that one item because I have this one coupon. That's why I'm here. And so anyway, they came back and they said, well, we'll give you the discount anyway. So there is a string in his head. So if you wanted to hang him, although you can see you're going to see two things here very shortly. One is that he kind of hangs forward a little bit. And two, you get this nice view of Slimer's smooth booty. Look at that. It's like that reflection on his shiny booty. So I don't want it hanging somewhere because I know it's just like a mobile or anything else. If you hang it, it's just going to naturally go that way. And every time I walk in a room, this is the view I'm going to get, right? So he is flat enough on the bottom, not this bottom, but this bottom, if I could turn that sideways where you can see. So he will sit like this on a shelf. So he's a little bit, his head tilts back a little bit like that when he's sitting on the shelf. But that's good enough. It is all 100% latex foam, so you can feel in there if you press down on anything, it gives just a little bit. But it's mostly, it's pretty firm, I like... I don't know if there's any way for me to get it closer without bumping into the microphone here. But they did a pretty good job on the sculpt inside the mouth. You can see that a little bit. The eyes look pretty good. The hands are, nothing on this is posable. He's just kind of, stuck in this particular position here. And then you got that fine booty. Now it does feel like to me that this arm is a little loose inside. Maybe the spray and foam cracked in there or something. I don't think you would ever notice it. And what's probably happened is it probably fell off a shelf or something. And, I know, it's terrible, isn't it? So this is, as I look around, of course I haven't unpacked everything that I have, but, I love Halloween stuff, and I love the Ghostbusters. Like, I could talk about the Ghostbusters. I did an episode of You Don't Know Flack about drive-ins a while back, maybe a year or two ago, and I know that I talked about Ghostbusters on there because Ghostbusters is a film that I associate with drive-ins. I remember seeing it. My parents were big fans of drive-ins, and I remember seeing it at the drive-in, so that's a Ghostbusters, I associate Ghostbusters with the drive-in. And then, of course, Slimer was a big part of their marketing. They had the Ghostbusters, and they had Ghostbusters toys and stuff, but the Ghostbusters had to fight somebody. And when you're little kids, you don't make a big, scary, ugly demon or whatever. You make something that's kind of funny and cute or whatever. And that's what Slimer is. So I'm looking forward, I have to say, to October. I'm looking forward to getting out some of the decorations and just trying to get back to some normalcy, and even if I know that Halloween's going to be different this year, we're not going to be going to big Halloween parties. We're not going to be throwing a Halloween party. My kids are old enough, they wouldn't be trick-or-treating anyway. I don't know if other people's kids will be trick-or-treating. It seems like if it was kids that you knew and that they stayed together in in a small group and were outdoors, maybe it would be okay. I don't really know. But I hope whatever kids do this year, I hope they have fun, because I have great memories. I don't remember a single Halloween growing up where I didn't have fun. I had fun every single Halloween. I loved dressing up. I loved going out and experiencing just that moment of, being free after you were supposed to be in the house. You know what I mean? It's dark. And when we were kids, by the time we were 11, 12, we were out trick-or-treating, my friends and I, with no parents going with us or whatever. So That's that's what I hope that the kids don't miss out on. I hope they don't miss out on the fun. I hope their memories of Halloween is not, that year where we stayed inside and we didn't do anything. That would kind of stink. So anyway, as always, I want to thank you guys for your support. I so much appreciate, all the comments and obviously your support on Patreon. I think I mentioned that last week on the last episode of Sprite Castle, I purchased a new Commodore game. It's like $4, but I bought that out of the, I try to keep it kind of separated, but I bought that out of the Patreon fund, so that'll give me something to play on an upcoming episode. And I ordered some more. I need to put them up, but I ordered some more sound tiles because now I've shifted everything where I sit. So all the sound tiles I had before that was stopping all the reflection are off kind of this way, and they're not this way. So I got some more of those to put up. But obviously, more than any numbers, more than anything else, it just means to me, it means the world to me that you guys are supporting me. So thanks again, and I will talk to you all next week.